came here, there was a great deal of emphasis already present on students becoming civically engaged. But what we thought was missing was working that same sort of civic engagement into the curriculum, and that attempt to have an effect on civic engagement. That is, to take one's political point of view and try to move it into the mainstream and to actually change things with it. Early on, the American Democracy Project had a very heavy emphasis on voter registration among college-age citizens. One of my proudest moments with the American Democracy Project here at ISU was in the 2004 election, when I saw the huge student turnout in our student center here.
When the provost was called by the American Association of State Colleges and University and asked if we would be one of 8 universities to participate in the political engagement project, the first thing he did was sit down with me and several people that work up here to think through what could this be. The political engagement for us is very curricular in nature. We've really focused in on first year students and then general education, inner core and some middle core courses that those first year students are taking.
PEP in particular as a COM 110 is different in its format that we only have 2 speeches. We have an informative speech, just pretty much standard like in the regular COM 110. But then instead of having a persuasive and a group speech that are separate, we combined the 2. So we had a group speech that they present all the different sides of the issues and they're informing us on it, but at the end they must have a call to action and they must be persuading us.
I live in America, I just live here. I really didn't have a political stance either way, on Democrat or Republican. It was just, never really thought about it. I was more worried about my own life.
I would have to say I wasn't politically involved at all. I took an econ government and they would try and, do a little bit of political engagement, but it wasn't highly encouraged and I didn't vote, so.
As an acting major, it was always fun to get up in front of people to talk to, but the political twist on the class definitely spun me around. I've never been much into politics, but it helped me research something that didn't interest me, and then it challenged me to discuss it in front of a lot of people.
In regard to COM 110, we help them become better critical thinkers where they're able to synthesize information, assess arguments, evaluate arguments, and really just go beyond face value now. They're actually able to critically think and think about something in a different way, develop well-substantiated arguments, not just attacking people or saying you're stupid, being able to argue an issue and not think of an argument as a fight anymore. Think of it, as an actually constructed logical line of reasoning.
I definitely like middle Democratic, almost liberal, but I really do have a view now. Like I have points that I can make and I can actually talk in an intelligent conversation without like fallacies, and actually being able to talk back and forth with a person and care about it, have passion.
I talked a lot about media literacy, taking what you see, read, and hear, and not just taking it all in and being a consumer, but understanding whether it's credible, whether it's valid, getting on the internet and actually checking these statistics. Some political ad campaign says that 20 Democrats voted for it. Did 20 Democrats vote for it?
Our teachers showed us like 2 political ads, one from a Republican and one from a Democrat. And it was just any political ad you would see during a campaign for or against a candidate. But once we started analyzing it, I just didn't realize it had that many just completely false things in it.
We cannot assume that our students will graduate understanding how to apply what they learn in their degree and what they learn through Gen Ed into changing the world. I don't think we can assume that anyone who's 18, 19, 21 learns that on their own. I think we have to assume that's part of our job.
Count of number 1, fire! And the battle was on.
I had my students do their informative speeches on a political topic that they moaned and groaned about at first, but they had no idea what an electoral college was. The whole class got a lesson just, by starting with the informative speech, laying a groundwork of our political awareness, what a senator does, what a lobbyist does, what are some main issues going on right now.
There was a kid who was walking around my dorm who had some questions on Democratic Party, Bush, all that stuff, and I didn't have a clue of what was going on. And that encouraged me to look at more stuff, and I saw a bunch of speeches, I learned a bunch of stuff from them, and now, you know what, people will talk about politics, especially when you grow up, so you're going to have to know something or other about it.
Political engagement is more than just voting, and it's more than just politics. It is politics and it is voting, but it's also political processes. I think it's also policy making. So it's all of the political policies that impact our lives every day.
Our lives really are determined to a massive amount by the politics, both of the country and of the state and of the locales in which we live. And I don't think that's very clear to people. There is a certain cynicism about politics in this country. What goes on at a local level has a huge impact on your daily life, particularly your life as a professional.
That's part of what I think the Political Engagement Project is about, is to help this group of young adults who want to change the world learn how to do it, period. And you can't do it by volunteering once a week at the soup kitchen or serving Thanksgiving dinner at the mission. Those are great volunteer kinds of activities to do, but somebody who graduates with a college degree ought to start to understand why we have soup kitchens and why we have missions and why are people homeless and what are the policies and the processes in this country that are going to have to change in order to not have soup kitchens and not need missions. So that to me is the difference between having a college degree and impacting society and not having that opportunity to get a college degree.
And what PEP, I think, has given my students from the beginning to the end is they care about the social issues and they care about social change, and they recognize the fact that even though they're 18 or 19 years old, they can do something about social change.
It's not just being a Democrat or Republican, it's being an advocate for issues and social issues and political issues, and showing them, deconstructing kind of, I think, that myth of, you know, what's on the news, what's on the radio, what politicians say, what people in the media say is good, is true, and just getting them engaged in that and letting them know that they can have an opinion.
This class definitely has opened my eyes politically, because like I came into this class thinking, okay, I don't really care about politics whatsoever, never really thought about it. And now coming out of the class, I'm thinking, wow, there are some stances that I really should be voting on, I really should be taking into concern, because I never really thought about it before.
I do believe that as a public institution we have a responsibility to educate the citizenry of this country. If students that, you know, alumni of universities come out with bachelor's degree in hand, go into professional positions and are not good citizens, we have failed this nation.
At a time when many signs point to the fact that fewer Americans are taking part in civic activities, it's exciting for me to see the level of civic involvement by students here at Illinois State continue to grow.
My goal is to watch us grow and expand the Political Engagement Project to include courses that our second-year students are taking, and ultimately, I mean, if I could pick, kind of dream an ideal world, that would then move into major courses. By the time they graduate, truly understand how to take everything they've learned about their major and everything they've learned in general education and apply that as professionals. I want them to become an educated citizenry in that they may be nurses or accountants and they may be outstanding professionals, but they are also citizens who use their time and talent to change not just the volunteerism that is good to do, but to really go out there and say, I'm going to change the world.